If today on Saturday morning you need a podcast streaming live, talking about some wrestling and other stuff you like, then you've come to the right place where amigos hanging out, marking out over everything. So come on and hang out, 'cause I'm proud to be on Mania with James, Zeus, and ANGIE, talking Barry Windham and great American matches are we, and we'll proudly mark out next to you live this Saturday, 'cause there ain't no doubt we're marking out on Mark Out Mania.
Woo.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I was digging that.
That was nice. That was really nice.
Oh, thank you. Hey, hola, amigos. Happy 4th of July, and welcome to the Mark Out Mania.
Yeah. Woo, happy 4th, everyone. Happy 4th. Happy birthday, US of A.
And hey, welcome back for her 6th time.
Yes.
It's Angie. You're one away from Casey now.
Uh-oh. It's on.
Yeah, it's on. You two have a rivalry going, man.
Yes. Apparently.
Yeah, I know. I don't know
After
who's
that
going to win
Okada
this.
news that I heard.
That's right. For those who missed it, I will gladly repeat it. Professor Casey chose wisely, might I add, Okada over Jay White. Just in case that you didn't hear that, Angie. I just wanted to make sure that the information got to you correctly.
Casey's he's getting old though. I mean,
yeah, he's wrong. He's just wrong.
Damn, you guys killing me. Thanks for getting
just
up,
like
Angie.
Okada and his same match over and over again.
Yes, that's all. He saw one match of Okada and he's like, yeah, he's good. It's the same.
That's the thing is he's thought he's watched so many different Okada matches, but it's always been the same one.
It's been the same match.
Keep talking shit, guys. Keep talking shit. Go ahead. Actually, thank you for getting up, Angie, and it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
For the Great American Bash episode and for Barry Windham's birthday. Holla.
Yes, happy birthday, Barry Windham.
Big
He's my George Bailey.
BW.
Oh
yeah,
the man who never needed a gimmick. He never needed
never.
And
then he got the most shittiest one in the WWF.
that was messed up.
Yeah.
Shout out to YYH in the chat room.
Hi, YY.
Double Y, Double H, what's going on? Which was the shittiest gimmick? It was the Night Stalker or it was the Widowmaker?
The stalker, the Night Stalker.
The stalker.
Yeah.
The eco-terrorist.
Yeah, that was horrible, right?
That was horrible.
I mean, that's
poor Barry.
That, it's like you absolutely put the wrong fucking dude in there. I mean, Daniel Bryan, eco-terrorist, totally believable. Barry Windham, no.
And then he didn't look any different. All he wore was fatigues and an old WWF style T-shirt. I mean, what the hell was that?
He did have some some camo face paint.
Yeah. But
I remember the face paint. I remember the camel pants.
I don't understand something, Zeus. He had a run in WWF. He was part of the U.S. Express. He was tag team champion.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Vince acted. If you came back, you acted like you were brand new all over again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Brutal.
As I say, it happened every time.
Now,
the only person that was breaking that was when Barry Windham, during that NWA invasion, and they were letting him be Barry Windham. And
I remember that. Yeah, the whole thing with Cornette, right? Yeah.
Yeah, when Cornette would get on commentary, he wouldn't have that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I like Barry Windham best when he was facing Ric Flair. Because to me, he was one of Ric Flair's greatest opponent. Hence why I didn't like him as a horseman, because he wasn't fighting Flair as a horseman. He was part of the team. I wanted him to fight Flair because him and Flair matched up perfectly in that ring. They were beautiful together in that ring. They made music. You know?
Yeah. No,
Right,
yeah, that's true.
The problem was that muscle-bound bodybuilders with 1/10 the talent and skill and everything else that Barry Windham had came along and made girls giggle and swoon and all that other crap and they started booking them over Barry Windham.
That was horrible. He sucked anyway. He sucked from then. He still sucks now. So there you go.
But Angie,
Sting was in that group too. So
Angie, but you went for Barry over the bodybuilders, no?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think Angie's smart enough never to like Lex Luger.
Oh my God, I couldn't stand Lex Luger, and honestly, I'm not a huge Sting fan. I never have been.
See, now here's the thing: when you look at the career of Barry Windham, and and Lex Luger, and then Lex was down in Florida, and Barry was one of his trainers. He was and he turned on Barry down in Florida. Then he came up to Georgia and joined the Four Horsemen. And and Barry even told him he kind of let that shit slide in Florida, and was like, "Listen, Lex, you're my friend. I've been trying to bring you up the right way. You joining the Horsemen is not going to end well, And then egomaniac that Lex was. He was like, fuck you. I'm going to do my own shit.
Yeah.
And of course, it led to them, butting heads. And then once Luger's ego became too big for even the Four Horsemen,
which is saying something.
Barry Windham took him back. He rescued his sorry ass, formed a tag team with him, and beat the Horsemen. But Barry Windham got so beat up and tired of carrying himself and Luger in every damn match that he got tired of it and said,
"That's Zeus. That's an understatement. That's an understatement when you carry them. That's an understatement." Okay.
I mean, Luger was blown out in the first 5 minutes of the match, and then Barry Windham's left to freaking
he had to carry it
15 minutes and get the crap beat out of him by one of the best tag teams in history, and so yeah. Not to mention the behind the scenes stuff where Barry was saying that Dusty was paying him enough to get eat bologna sandwiches sometimes.
Brutal.
And it's if you listen to it on YouTube, you will never, going back to when he actually joined the Horsemen, you won't hear that crowd audience response anywhere anymore when Barry turned Horseman. Because if you play it on YouTube, it's incredible to listen to.
Yeah,
that audience went nuts.
Yeah, there's like a 20-minute compilation video that of all of everything that led up to it, and the turn.
I liked the turn; it was good, but again, it took me away from seeing Flair versus Barry. That's why I didn't like him in the Horsemen. Yeah, because I did not want to see Luger Flair. I did because it was horrible.
Honestly, they should have pulled the trigger on Barry being world champion instead of
that should have happened
instead of Ronnie Garvin in '87.
Oh hell yeah! Because he was one of the most horrible transition champions ever. Horrible.
He was just like, I'm not dropping it to Flair after a week,
And I love Barry as a Horseman.
I wouldn't have wanted to do that. I
agree.
I mean, Garvin was super over and super popular in Mid Atlantic and in Georgia, and he didn't deserve to be, to go back on it like this. It's sad the way it turned out, but
hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin.
I mean, I actually kind of like the Flair Garvin cage match. I think that's a fairly underrated match.
It's a decent match. It's a good match.
Garvin was a better wrestler than I think a lot of people remember.
Actually,
yeah, he didn't get a lot of credit in the ring. I mean, because he was very stiff and he didn't move well, but he was good. He sold. He was good. He was all right. He sold a hell of a lot better than Luger did. That's for sure.
I just remember 3 moves with Ronnie Garvin. That's it.
if you go back to the 1989 WWF stuff, he had some matches with Greg Valentine on like the house shows and stuff.
Yeah,
they are so like just brutally stiff matches, just chopping the fuck out of each other. So if you like just like stiff strikes and stuff, those matches are like fun to watch. Just watching.
Actually, I want to watch. Actually, I want to ask Angie a question. Angie, when did your love affair with Windham begin, and why?
I can't even. I have loved him for, oh my God, I think since the first time. I can't even remember when I didn't love him. He is my number 2. If you know me, you know my number 1. But he is my number 2. But it's a whole different, I just when I see him, he's just great. He was so underrated. He was solid. He was a heel. He was a this, he was a that. And if you listen to Bill Alfonso, on YouTube, there's a story of him actually where Steve Kern, they were shooting guns. They were in Miami. They were driving to a show. They were shooting guns. Steve Kern shot at a stop sign. It ricocheted and hit Barry in the thigh.
Holy shit.
So he literally got shot. So and Bill Alfonso's like, at this time, Dusty's calling us to see where we're at. And he tells Dusty, yeah, Barry just got shot. And he's all, well, how bad is it? Instead of oh my,
Right.
So he's like, so Bill Alfonso, they're looking at it, and he's all like, I can see, oh, there's the bullet. And Dusty's like, well, pull it out and wrap him up. Because Dusty was the booker. And because Dusty was the booker, and whenever Dusty was the booker, Barry was the main event. So Barry had a match with Harley Race for the belt that night. So they wrap him up, and he did a 60-minute match with Harley Race that night.
Oh my God.
Wow. Look at that.
And that, oh my God, that just solidifies everything about Barry. Solid, consistent, awesome. Just all the way awesome.
I always liked him and Mike Rotunda together. I thought they were awesome as a U.S. Express, man. I dug that team.
And he could do it. He could do tag team. He could do singles, wherever. He could do it. He could do it all. He was literally the wrestler who could do it all.
On the flip side of that coin, I did not like Barry Windham with Kendall. I thought that was a horrendous team.
With who?
Yeah, wow, that goes.
Oh, his brother?
Yeah. That was brutal.
Who liked Kendall than anybody?
Exactly.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
That was just forced.
I remember when Kendall and Dustin were rookies.
I remember that, yeah. No horrible.
I feel like Dustin and Barry are very similar in that they're two guys who seem just like out of the womb, a natural at pro wrestling.
Yeah. Dustin is definitely one of those two who can, basically do it all too. Like he could do a heel, he could do.
And I was watching some Dustin stuff, and he was just smooth. I mean, it was just like automatic. So many things were just automatically, just textbook headlocks, drop kicks, transitions. Everything was just, it was just so well done, automatic, and he made it. He made it look good always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, they had natural power. They didn't have to build up their bodies. They didn't have to, they both had just that natural build and that natural power.
All that.
They didn't have to move around like a slab of concrete in the ring like Lex Luger did. Yeah.
Oh my God. Terrible.
What about that sweet superplex Barry had?
Oh.
Yeah, that was sweet.
The superplex was a thing of beauty because of that float over.
Yeah.
And he had the gut wrench suplex, he had vertical suplex, he had the flying lariat.
Oh, I love the flying lariat.
That was a huge move back in the day.
Nobody's ever done the flying lariat like he did.
That was a huge move back in the day. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was the finisher. It's like if you got hit with that was it.
He's a beautiful drop kick too.
Oh yeah.
For being, he got up there for being so tall. He really got up there.
Yeah, he was a big guy. He was a tall, lanky guy. So yeah.
And the claw. Claw. I mean, and he sold that forever. He punched the ring post in the Chi-Town Rumble '89 match where he dropped the U.S. belt
to
Luger. Yeah. And he sold that weak hand for the next, until he retired.
Yeah.
I got a question for all of you.
It was always
I got a question for you.
And he never used the claw again after that match.
Crazy.
That's going to stick it to an angle.
Yep.
That's going to stick it to. I have a question for all of you though. How come companies didn't play on the fact that he was Blackjack Mulligan's son? Everybody else knew Dustin was Dusty. Everybody else knew this person was that son, but everybody was hush about it.
I heard that I don't know, growing up, you read the wrestling magazines.
Yeah.
But I heard that he chose not to be used that way.
Yeah, that's why he was Blackjack Mulligan Jr. for like a year, and then he was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. That's what I recall from reading the magazines and whatever, that he chose not to be looked at as his son.
Yeah, because it was like, if I can't make it on my own merits, abilities, and everything else, then I don't deserve to be my dad's son anyway. Because his dad was the first Blackjack Mulligan. So,
right.
Yeah,
but then he became part of that new Blackjacks, isn't he? Wasn't he doing that?
Yeah,
he did that stupid shit, right? Yeah.
that was to the point when Barry was like, "Look, if you pay me, I'm going to show up. I'm going to do what you want me to do. All right."
I think and I recall one of those magazines. I don't, it's probably a fake angle or whatever, but stating that there was a type of feud between them, between Barry and his dad at one point, where they just weren't getting, that they just weren't getting along. And I don't know if that was legit or not, but
I got a question. Did everyone see Barry Windham live?
Yes.
He was never in my area.
James?
I saw him once. Yeah, once. Once at a Philly house show.
We know Zeus did.
Yeah. Zeus probably had lunch with him. Jesus.
How many? How many times?
God, it was all right. So, 1990. Arn Anderson and Barry Windham versus Paul Orndorff and Junkyard Dog.
Nice.
Barry Windham versus Lex Luger at a house show.
Wow.
For the ugly substitute WCW world title.
Oh yeah, the ugly belt. Yeah.
Yeah, the old, that was what was it, the PWF belt?
Yeah.
That they stuck a plate on. Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes against Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson in Winston-Salem.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And Barry Windham versus Stunning Steve Austin.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
For the title in Fayetteville, just after the Great American. It was less than a week after the Great American Bash, 1992.
Nice.
Wow. I only saw him one time.
Yeah, I only saw him one time too. House show, NWA house show in Philly.
It was a WCW house show that I saw him in, and it was during the Rap is Crap thing with Kurt Hennig.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, that
was a West Texas Rednecks, right?
Yeah,
that was it.
So cute.
That was so over too, man. A lot of people love that shit.
Yeah.
Like Master P's out there in fucking Atlanta getting booed.
Yeah,
he got booed in Atlanta. How'd that happen?
I mean, I told y'all before, here in Texas, that song was a legit hit song.
It was up there with Material Girl.
you could go to the grocery store and you would hear it playing like in the
That's
Wow.
They
That was great.
They got the
so
music
cute.
version in the elevator.
Stephanie is not a wrestling fan. She's never watched wrestling. She's never been into it, but she knew that song, and like she had no idea it came from wrestling.
Right. I want to say a quick what's up to Rocky in the chat. Hey, Rocky, how you doing, buddy, man? Nice to join.
Hey, it's Rocky. Hey, yeah, he's a tweep. He's a mutual on Twitter.
I'm sorry, Pedro. Go ahead. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was finished.
Oh.
But the match, the match I saw Barry at in Greensboro was, like everybody said, it was right after Ric Flair had left, and they had to do the fill-in thing, and then Luger beat Barry at the Great American Bash with Harley Race,
Which was hogwash, but go ahead.
right. And as I've said before, in case you didn't know, that match was the first time that anybody had ever escaped from the torture rack on their own. Barry kicked off of the cage, got out of it.
Nice.
And it's an awful match, but I mean that was that's definitely the highlight.
That's the highlight.
Yes. But so in Greensboro, John Hitchcock and the Horseman fans had brought paper bags to wear over their head with names on them of wrestlers who weren't there anymore. All the guys who left the company. And so they're all on the front row with paper bags on their heads during this night.
Yeah.
And like Barry came to the ring first, and the crowd's chanting, "We want Flair, we want Flair."
Aww.
Right. And Barry just looks out, and he just shrugs his shoulders, and he's like, tough shit.
I thought Zeus, you know better than me. I thought the whole plan was to put the strap on Windham in the first place.
Well, it was supposed to happen. That's what Flair wanted. Flair wanted to drop it to him at a house show,
right,
before he left. But
I thought that was the whole idea. Was to put in the whole strap on Windham, and then here comes Luger. They gave it to Luger. I was like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, what happened was they were trying to get the belt back from Flair without giving him his deposit back on it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "No, you're gonna pay me my deposit. The whatever it was, $25,000 or whatever
and
it was."
Interest. Supposedly, there was interest on that too.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, he had to, that was why he didn't give it back, and that's when like they said they were going to come to his house and get it, and he's like, "Yeah, good luck with that," and so so that match, it was actually, of course Windham carried that match, and even though Windham lost at the end, due to interference by Luger, by Harley Race, the crowd was chanting Barry, Barry, and it kept getting louder. It kept getting louder, and like he's laying in the ring, and he's starting to get up, and he's like sitting on his knees, and he's just kind of and he's exhausted, and he's just like looking around like he can't believe that people were chanting for him amidst all of this crap.
Yeah, because everybody's watching him carry that entire match.
Right, but still, it was just kind of a surreal, it was just kind of a surreal moment. I thought, it wasn't just me, but it's just, everybody in Greensboro, knew and respected, Barry. So,
wow. Because I remember watching that and I was like, why did Luger win? Like, what's going on? What? Why? I was like, no, you know?
Oh my God.
Unlike Angie, I'm not the biggest Barry Windham fan. I like him, but, but I'm not gaga over him. But even I was like, wait a minute. This is a miscarriage of justice over here. There's no way Lex Luger should be the champ. It should be Barry Windham.
Well,
Luger can't carry a company.
I mean, he did, and they made some really bad decisions. With all of that first Luger reign, they took his arrogance to a really bad level. And there was a few times where you're just like, like the feud with Ron Simmons, and there was some really poorly executed things with that, but Luger left after he dropped the belt to Sting the next year, so
I think basically when it comes to Barry Windham, I think the promotions just counted on him, and I'm not saying they took advantage of him, but I think they just counted on his consistency, like how solid he was.
Right. Because it was a lot like
I'm sure it took for granted.
It's a lot like Brad Armstrong.
Yeah.
I like Brad Armstrong, man. I always thought he was good.
When guys are content to be a cog in the machine.
Yep, exactly. Because Brad Armstrong has not received the amount of acknowledgement that he should have.
Well, I think he's starting to get, like, as people are seeing things now. I think people are seeing more footage and realizing how good he was. But he could have been bigger during his time, when he was active. It's just that for whatever reason he just decided, hey, I don't need to if you want to make me one of the No Limit soldiers, go ahead. If you want to make me the Candy Man, go ahead. If you want me to be Arachna Man, I'll shoot Silly String.
Yeah. I mean, his brother has half the talent that he has. His brother was 10 times over, which is unbelievable,
Well, I mean, and once again, and that's promotion, that's promoting people.
Yeah.
But like you can never take away, that moment that Brad won the NWA national title on TBS from Ted DiBiase. I mean, that was an incredible moment. But like, if you look at how Barry's career progressed after that, after the world title thing, they did the cruncher thing where they re-injured his hand. It was Zbyszko and Anderson, and then we got this. Barry brought back Ricky Steamboat. Which was a huge help. And then we finally got to see Barry healthy again and team with Dustin Rhodes. And and that team was fantastic. And then they overly goody two-shoed Dustin, which was silly. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you for your happy 4th wishes.
Thanks, Rock.
But that those next couple of years were just really well done with him, and then Barry became the lone wolf after he turned on Dustin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or rather, he was the one that was being the smart pro wrestler, and Dustin was being, like a dumb kid. It's like, oh, we can't pin, Steamboat after I accidentally kicked him in the balls. Well, you didn't mean to do it. Just pin him any fucking way.
It's just quality booking back then.
Yeah, well, that was like the end of the Bill Watson time, I think.
Yeah, that was horrible.
But but then they had the the WCW kind of reunited with the NWA, and they had the G1 in New Japan to determine the new NWA World Champion. Masachono won that. In that tournament, all the members of the Dangerous Alliance were in that G1, and Barry was, and so was Terry Taylor, and Keiji Muto. The Great Muta defeated Barry in that tournament to get to the semifinals, and and then was it Bash at the Beach '93. And Barry got the shot at the NWA World Title against the Great Muta, which is a hard match for me to watch because the two of my absolute favorites. So
you're right.
That was just an amazing. He finally got it, and he used that leaping DDT. It's that kind of became the paradigm shift or whatever. Moxley calls it, but there's Barry innovating a move back in the day that
it's being used today.
Yeah, he doesn't even really get credit for it.
Exactly. I was actually watching the Great Muta and Sting, a match they had at Great American Bash. I think like the other day, like a couple of days ago.
From '89.
Yeah, Great American Bash '89.
Yeah, the Gary Hart.
Yeah, he had Sting pinned for a 5 count.
Well, the best match, in my opinion, from the Great American Bash in '89 is Flair Funk. That was awesome.
Oh my God, that was so great. That was great.
That was awesome. That's one of my favorite matches.
Card. That was a stacked card.
It was. To be fair, that was a huge card.
I mean, Steiners versus Doom.
I like Doom.
If we're the '89 Bash, it was the Steiners versus the Varsity Club.
That Flair Funk
you're
match
right.
was great, and the fans were so into it, where you actually see some fan tell Terry Funk something, and he just scurries behind the security real fast. But that was great. That was
Terry
a great
Funk
match.
is awesome.
Yeah, another, that they had that Luger versus Ricky Steamboat.
Oh yeah,
and that was a weird match because that was originally supposed to be a DQ match, but at the last minute they changed it to where a DQ could end the match, and Luger brought the chair into the ring, but Steamboat got it beat the hell out of Luger with the chain and got DQ'd.
No, it was a good Great American Bash, and I don't know why it doesn't get more credit than it does, but how about the Vader Sting match from '92?
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a good match. Because I think it should get more credit. I thought it was a pretty good match. Damn good match.
And that Great American Bash was headlined by Barry Gordy and Steve Williams versus Dustin and Barry for the NWA Tag Titles, the finals.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, they finished the last 2 rounds of the tournament.
Yeah,
the NWA Tag Team Tournament.
Because Dustin and Barry beat Steve Austin and Rick Rude, and then they beat Hase and Hashimoto. And then they lost to Gardy and Williams.
Yeah.
Wow. You know who? And I'm ready for the backlash that I'm gonna get right now.
Oh,
I'm totally ready.
Ooh.
But who's really been moving up in my ranks, in terms of, and he's always been there, and he's a huge I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna hear it right now.
Yeah.
But I have so much more appreciation for Rick Steamboat than I ever had growing up or in my life. Because I don't know, I've been seeing a lot more matches with him lately. And the more I see him,
you talking about? Who's
Yeah, Steamboat was always great.
See, this is why I was ready for it, because I've never really, like, if you were to give me a top 10, I would never put Ricky Steamboat in it.
Steamboat, in my book, he's in one of the top 10 matches I've ever seen in my entire life. He was Steamboat Flair, okay, for Chi-Town Heat, and then you do Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3.
And, and of course, and I love Ric Flair, and I know and I've seen matches with him and Rick Steamboat, but I just never really appreciated them before.
Right.
I love Ricky Steamboat. Like when I was
he's good.
He was like
he's great.
Among my
he's totally great. But it's been like lately I've been seeing more and more matches with him, and I have this Bruiser Brody DVD that I just got, and watching, and it's just like I have so much, like he's just totally like blown me away. It took years, but yeah, he's just totally blown me away.
It's okay, Angie. At least you're finally coming around. That's good.
I've seen the light.
You've seen the light.
He was.
I thought you were gonna say something like like Lex Luger or somebody like like Gumby or something. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Hey, leave Gumby alone.
Gumby. That guy needs to eat. That poor bastard needs to eat a steak and work out, okay? Please.
Angie and I were talking about this, weren't we? It looks like he's put on.
He bulked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he bulked up.
Yeah, he bulked up. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
he bulked up. And he's like, oh my God, James, I have to bulk up for James.
Yeah, he bulked up from his stomach to his ass. Yeah, he bulked up. Come on.
Oh, his shoulders are looking a little bigger.
They're wider, yeah.
His midsection, like his abs are a little, more fortified and everything. Like his pecs look a little thicker. Like he
saw Zeus's picture, and then you know what he took Zeus's picture and said, "Oh my God, look at my arms." He drew them perfectly and decided to get into a gym. That's what happened. Okay. Non-selling bastard.
Well, he sells now.
Yeah,
yes,
no
he does.
I think he got pulled. I think he got pulled into the locker room one day by Gato, and he said, "Listen, you need to start selling for people, otherwise, that's it." Because he was the king of the no sales. I mean, come on, man, you can't go through a tournament and not sell for nobody. I mean, come on, what's wrong with you?
I mean, since the G1 last year, he's been pretty good with the selling, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And it might not have been Gato, it might have been fucking Suzuki that said something to him.
Yeah, because that's even worse.
Somebody you don't. Yeah, you just
have about somebody you're gonna listen to in the fucking locker room and say,
exactly. Yeah.
Imagine him coming at you. Oh no!
I actually like watching his matches. Because I actually do. He just pissed me off that one time, and he got on my wrong side. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing, bro?" And Ishii knows this. That's my man, and he just totally knows
Ishii's great. He is another one. Like put Ishii in the Barry Windham, Brad Armstrong area right there. He is just consistent. He is
honestly, Ishii 20 years ago. If Ishii was 20 years if Ishii was 20 years younger, I'd like to see him just step into WWE and bitch slap Braun Strowman. I would like to see that. I really would.
Ishii is he is a little guy though.
Yeah, but that guy vicious, Zeus.
Vicious.
I understand, but he's still a junior.
Vicious, man. I mean, like he seems I love him. So I get excited for Ishii. I'm doing an Angie style right now.
He is fun to watch. He is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
No other match I thought it was good too from Great American Bashers of year gone by. I don't recognize the WWF versions of Great American Bashers. I'm sorry, I don't. So even though the JBL Eddie Guerrero match is a classic, but I still don't recognize it. I like Flair Dusty Rhodes 86.
Oh yeah, the title change?
Yeah. I thought that was a good match. I thought that was real good. You know.
Was the title change in Charlotte?
I don't know if it was in Greensboro or Charlotte. I'm not exactly sure where.
Greensboro.
Okay, Greensboro?
Yeah.
1986.
Okay. It was 86, right? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, because I know my sometime is kicking in.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Third and final.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlotte was Flair and Ricky Morton, and then Greensboro was Flair and Dusty.
I didn't like that Flair Ricky Morton match.
I think was that the one where, I mean, you know, Flair kind of he bumped a lot for Ricky Morton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Morton was, you know, at the hottest, you know, of his career at that.
That was the hottest he ever was.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to talk about Flair and Bash, 1990, I think is the greatest. I think it's come out Flair and Sting. That was amazing.
That was great. That was a really good match. That was a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
That 1991 or 1990 match, you know, that was about as perfect a match as you would want to see. I mean, it could have been a little longer, and Sting could have been in trouble a little bit more. But I mean, as far as making the fans happy, I mean, it was just such a perfect match. You had, you know, the you know, El Gigante was tied up was handcuffed to Ole Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Junkyard Dog and Paul Orndorff.
Angie. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Interfering.
And a big lesson to Gumby over here. If you're gonna no-sell moves, watch that match, because that's how you no-sell a move. Ask Sting how to do it, because he did it perfectly. He no-sold the chops, and the crowd went nuts. That's how you do it.
Different character, so you can.
Yeah,
it wouldn't work for Zach to no-sell like that. But
I know, but if you're gonna do it, that's how you do it. I'm just saying.
You know, and like Sting always said too, he's like, you know, every night with Flair, you know, I come away, my chest felt like hamburger.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how many times he sold it. It fucking hurt every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That Great American Bash 1990, didn't Lex Luger fight like Mean Mark, the Undertaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he beat him with didn't he beat him with a roll up? I think.
I just remember that they fought.
I don't remember. I didn't even remember him beating him.
You know, the only thing about that Sting Ric Flair match that bothered me was when he actually did win the bout, and it was like, okay, you won the bout, dude. Why are you not happier? You know, it just didn't seem legit with me. That's the only thing was that ending just didn't seem legit to me.
Well, I mean, he wanted to beat Flair finally.
Yeah, yeah.
But he wasn't like, oh my God, I reached the, you know, like he wasn't like,
right.
Well,
you know?
That was when WCW was in a lot of, that was when the turmoil was starting too. So it wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't gratifying and satisfying as it would have been if you beaten Flair 5 years earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Well, I mean, if he'd have beaten Flair in the last year, there's no way he was beating him, you know, in 85.
No, but you know what I mean. You know, at the height of when, you know, like he's just starting to come up, and I mean, if you want to shock the world, you know, boom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That 91 that 91 Great American Bash is one of the worst ever, easily.
What was the 91 card, Zeus?
Junkyard Dog beat Black Bart, but it was PN News and Bobby Eaton against Steve Austin and Terrence Taylor was not good.
PN News, oh my God, I remember him.
Ron Simmons crushed the rising star of the man named Oz.
Oh.
Richard Morton with Alexander York beat Robert Gibson.
Oh, I remember that gimmick. Yeah, that was horrible.
And that's so weird too, because then like Robert was out of WCW, and there's Richard Morton, teaming with Thomas Rich in the York Foundation.
Thomas Rich.
Yeah. Everybody went by their proper name for the York Foundation. Terrence Taylor.
Yeah.
And then there was Dustin Rhodes and the Young Pistols beat the Freebirds and Bad Street. And I think that was like the Freebirds came out. I think they were wearing like terrible amounts of eye makeup and lipstick.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I think they were just trying to make that, because like they kept coming off as cool heels in everywhere they went. And
they had their hair up.
Yeah, right? And they had like stupid looking sequin pants.
Yeah, I remember that.
They like tried everything to get those guys hated, and it was so hard to.
That's funny.
The yellow dog that was
Barry Windham.
No. This was
Brian Pillman.
Oh, Brian Pillman. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Pillman against Johnny B. Bad. Big Josh against Black Blood.
Jesus,
that was not a good match. That Black Blood was that was another failed Billy Jack Haynes.
Oh my God!
I mean, he looked
man.
Yeah, he looked like a medieval executioner. El Gigante versus One Man Gang was not going to be a good match. Nikita Koloff beat Sting in that Russian chain match. That wasn't terrible. That was probably one of the better matches on the card. And then and then Luger beat Windham, and then it was going to be a match. It was going to be like Rick Steiner and Missy Hyatt against Arn Anderson and Paulie Dangerously, but the Maryland State Athletic Commission didn't allow intergender matches, so they had to the hardliners had to kidnap Missy Hyatt backstage. So, yeah,
brutal.
I don't even remember watching that match because I think I was so mad. I'm pretty sure I was so mad that 20-year-old me was really mad that Barry Windham didn't win over Luger. I'm pretty sure I did not watch the Rick Steiner versus Arn Anderson and Paulie Dangerously in a cage.
I think my favorite Great American Bash match. It's an old one, but it's because of the stipulation at the time, and it was a good match, not for nothing. But Dusty Rhodes versus Tully Blanchard, 1985, and if Dusty Rhodes wins, he had Baby Doll as his valet / slave for 30 days. Oh, first of all, I thought the match was pretty good. And then second, after Dusty Rhodes won, yeah, Baby Doll working on the farm with pig shit and everything. Oh, that was classic, man. That was awesome. I love that. That was good stuff.
I really used to like those stipulation matches, like when they would put them like high up over the ring, in the cages. Like that.
Yeah.
I used to love those matches.
Yeah, Jim Cornette. Yeah, put him or I think there was a great. I think it was Ricky Steamboat against. I can't remember if it was against Rick Rude or Stunning Steve. Paulie was suspended over the ring, and because of course Steamboat could have a great match with anybody, but those two guys those were good ones too.
Wasn't J.J. Dillon suspended over the ring for the Clash, Sting and Flair? Or?
I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah, but all that. Yeah, but the downside to that too. Yeah, that eventually led to Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
That was. Then you had the Pinata match with Hoovy. and the Viagra on a pole match. So he had his downsides too, you know.
Yeah, thank you, Vince Russo.
Yeah.
Fucker.
What'd you call him, Angie?
Peckerhead.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
Oh my God, I can't. Oh, it just out of when you say his name, that automatically comes out of my mouth.
Vince Russo.
Oh,
he's a fucker. Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
It automatically just flies out. Just automatically, just.
No problem here.
So I know we're not considering the WWE Great American Bashes, but did y'all want to talk about the NXT one from this week, part 1?
I thought it was decent.
I mean, in the history, backed up against the history of the rest of the Great American Bashes.
Yeah,
that's but I mean, all I
much.
really watched was the Io Shirai Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Which
I thought it was a good match. I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought it was good. It was good.
That opening women's match.
It was sloppy.
It was very sloppy.
That's the only one I did watch.
It was very sloppy until it became Dakota and Tegan, and then it improved.
Tegan just came out of nowhere and went nuts. I was like, earlier in the match, you were doing none of this shit, you know?
Well, it was weird until it was down to both of them. It was just like a match. They all seemed to be somewhat in slow motion, like just off and just kind of in the motions. And then Dakota and Tegan, and it was like it just clicked. And
everybody was waiting for Mia Yim to pull off her moves, right? Because that's what it looked like.
That's why I watched it, was for Mia Yim. That is why I watched it.
Timothy Thatcher and Oney Larkin.
I thought that was a good match.
I liked it a lot. It was kind of like a stiff catch style match.
It was very physical.
But then after that match, I don't know why, I fell asleep at my desk. And
you didn't miss much because that strap match was shit.
Yeah, I woke up during the strap match. Like I woke up during that, and I was like, oh, like what happened? Like I went from like people talking to this, and
you could have stood asleep, Pedro, no problem.
Well, no, and then there was the what's it called, the Io Shirai Sasha Banks. Hey, look, guess who we have? We got Zero.
Zero! What's going on, buddy? Happy 4th.
Well, it was Canada Day earlier this week, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so late Happy Canada Day.
What a bum fight.
Strap match wasn't that good. It could have been better, Zero. It was all right, but it could have been a lot better. I expect a lot from Roderick Strong. I do. So it could have been a lot better.
The Io Shirai Sasha Banks match, the second half of it was really good, I thought, and the finish was just so much fun. Like Zeus mentioned earlier, it was just really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting Asuka to come out at all.
Yeah, me neither.
It never crossed my mind, and because I think that a lot of us get kind of preoccupied with the potential split between Sasha and Bayley. That there's so much focus on what Bayley's doing outside the ring, you don't even consider that anyone's going to help Io.
Right.
So that's that, that, and I mean, she sprayed Sasha in the face. Oh, good. I mean, she looked like the Incredible Hulk's little sister when after she got pinned.
It was a good sell job too.
I was marking out for Kana and Io in the ring. I was like, oh my God, triple tail again.
Supposedly that's going to happen again this Monday on Raw. It's supposed to be Asuka versus Bayley, and supposedly everybody's going to be in each other's corners now. So supposedly that's what's supposed to happen. So we'll see on Monday. So that should be fun, you know.
Interesting.
So
I'm still waiting for Killer Cross to show up at Bash. Like, what the fuck?
I know he wasn't on there.
No, he wasn't on the first night, and wasn't advertised for the second night either. Now, actually, now, if you want to speak on night 2, because that's supposed to be coming up this Wednesday. I'm going to miss it. Fuck. But apparently it's been spoiled already.
What?
Yeah.
But apparently there was pictures and everything.
Results, but I heard there's spoilers out there.
I saw the picture, so if you want to know what went on, tell me, because I'll tell it right now.
No, don't.
Okay, all right, I won't.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but apparently it's from an NXT talent himself spoiled it.
What? Why would they do that?
Accidental. It was accidental.
Idiot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Idiot.
NXT in-ring talent that spoiled it?
Yeah. One of the guys who was in the crowd just chanting.
Oh, God.
Apparently he took a picture of the finish.
Wow.
And the picture went up.
Zero saying the main event of night 2 got spoiled, but also the entirety of Fyter Fest also got spoiled.
Nobody gives a shit about Fyter Fest, Zero, okay? Nobody cares about Fyter Fest. Fyter Fest blows.
Hey, I watched like 2 or 3 matches of Fyter Fest.
Spoil Fyter Fest all you want. Nobody gives a shit. AEW sucks.
No, well, don't spoil it for Angie.
All right, don't spoil it. Nobody gives a shit. Don't even mention it in the chat.
At Fyter Fest, I think I caught a glimpse in the audience of Brian Pillman Jr.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that picture went out. Yeah,
he was in that horrible.
He was in MLF.
Well, yeah, I know, but he was in that horrible battle royal on the very first AEW show. So, Andy, what? Since you saw some of it, what can you tell us about Fyter Fest? Since I didn't watch any of it.
I watched Wardlow and MLF and Lucha Express. Mm-hmm. Which wasn't a bad match. It really wasn't. And I think of course they were like angling Wardlow to like break away from MLF. And I watched Penelope Ford and their heavyweight champion. And that was actually a really, really good match. I like Penelope Ford, and I would really like for her to like just solely just wrestle at this point. And so that was a really, really good match. And I think that's all I could remember.
Angie.
Angie.
I don't know. Like I try to watch NXT, and then I just automatically like veer to AEW. I don't know what it is.
Why?
I don't know.
It can't be the quality of the matches. I know that for sure.
She enjoyed the Sheeta Penelope match.
Yeah, it was a really good match. It was really good.
I heard that was quite good. I saw a lot of people, a lot of different people enjoyed that. Not just.
I'll take your word for it.
It was a good, it was a hard match. I mean, they both really went for it. And I really think that Penelope Ford should just solely be a wrestler. Like,
I guess I'm still biased because I had such high hopes for AEW, and then they threw out the Librarians, and that just totally pissed me off and fucked my whole head up.
That's the worst. Like, I don't watch the whole show of AEW. I haven't for a while, but there are like some wrestlers that I do still really like that I will make a point of watching it for them.
Oh, I get that because I like a lot of their talent, but I just can't watch them in that environment. It's the same thing with It was the same thing with John Morrison. I couldn't watch him in an Impact. I couldn't. It was horrible, disgusting.
I watched disgusting. Impact too, actually. Did I? Oh, and I love that that show that they're doing after Impact, where that 60, I forgot what it's called, where they'll just show some matches like they did Mick Foley this past week, and it's
Well, what's going on Impact, Angie? Since you saw,
I can't even tell you. I know Taya and Rosemary are going to tag team.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
I have a question. Are they bringing back? Are they bringing back the Knockouts tag titles? Because I know they were setting Jessica Havoc and someone up. They've been setting up.
Yeah, they're angling that way. Yeah. And Jessica Havoc too. Yeah, she's the one that I like to watch too, and she has a few. They have a thing going on with. Oh, I can't. Whatever Hogan. What's her name? Tyra Hogan.
Kira Hogan.
Kira Hogan. Oh, I can't. I don't like her.
Who's the girl that was in NWA? I always forget her name. The girl.
Marty Bell?
No.
Tasha Steelz?
Tasha Steelz. So they're a duo. Jessica Havoc and someone else is a duo.
Yeah.
Taya and Rosemary are now a duo. So it seems like they're aligning for.
Yeah, they are. It's going. You can see the direction it's going. You can see. And Jessica Havoc, I really like her, and I actually watched her a couple of times live at WoW. Yeah. So I really like Jessica Havoc.
I got to try to get back into watching Impact. I try. I honestly, I give it a legit shot of trying. It just, I can't. I tried and tried. I try, especially when, because especially the whole thing with Tessa, and of course one of my favorite wrestlers on Impact, the Mac. I love the Mac, but I just can't. I can't watch him in there. I feel sorry for him. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing on that show? Get out.
They need. Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say real quick to Angie. Angie, a little relationship gossip. You remember Razor from WoW?
Yeah.
She's dating Ricky Mundo.
Be quiet. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually liked WoW.
They're apparently a very cute couple.
Oh, that's so cute.
WoW was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked watching WoW.
It was James. You and I used to talk about it in terms of it was very easy to digest pro wrestling. You didn't have to think about it. You saw it.
You don't read into it. Yeah.
Right. You had your baby faces and you had your heels.
It was
That's
fun.
it.
It was fun. Yeah. There was no in between. It was like either you're good, you're bad, and we're going to go into the ring. And it had some really good wrestling.
Well,
the only thing I didn't like, it was like the 2-minute main event matches. I'm like, really? That's it?
That's what I was going to bring up. There was a bit of like unintentional humor with the show that like the main event would get like the least amount of time of.
Yeah.
And the first,
really?
especially on that first season. Yeah.
Hey, sorry that this is a great. This match would be a main event anywhere in the country. Sorry, we got to go. See you next week.
Yeah, just like Jim Crockett used to do, right?
Sorry, that used to kill me that would kill me.
You're supposed to stay on the 605, damn it. It's 603. Keep playing. Keep wrestling.
That would. Oh my goodness! Like you would just like. With the NWA, you would just be watching it, and then suddenly, like, we gotta go.
Yeah, I hated that. That pissed me off, man.
That's why, like, I was so spoiled. Like, the first show I ever went to was those TV tapings. So I didn't know that the matches were cut off because, you're just there. So, like, the main event that was, Arn Anderson against Manny Fernandez. That just happened, for us.
I like the Raging Bulls.
And then the
Zeus rubbing it in. God.
The other one, the other match didn't even air at all. Was
Angie, it's Zeus. He's super famous. So he had lunch with them. He hung out with Barry Windham.
Yeah, the match went on. Everybody else.
The match went on. I was in the second row. I got the bleach with Flair's hair in the back before he came out. All kind of shit. He's super famous. You know how he is.
And I'm like waiting to go inside. Just
he gets free popcorn, a free soda pop, some hot dogs. He gets signed, signed memorabilia while he's sitting in the front row, Zeus sat in this seat. He probably signed it for a guy. You know how that shit is. Zeus sat here. He got his ass put in the seat. He signed it. This guy's
James, you know.
I mean,
If it wasn't for your bad ticker, you would have had some great VIP treatment last year at WrestleCade. So.
I know. I wanted the Zeus experience. I missed out.
You know, WCCW would do the same thing too, where they would cut the ending.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like,
World class, yeah.
That would kill me.
But there was sometimes where they had like nothing but, you know, big matches. Like sometimes you wouldn't see beat up guys at all. You wouldn't see enhancement talent at all on a show. You know, be like, you know, David Von Erich against, you know, Chris Adams, and you know,
there was no squash matches. Yeah.
So, sometimes there weren't any. Sometimes there was, but you know, other times there weren't. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, shit, we got, you know, middle of the show, we got, you know, Chris Adams and Great Kabuki in a super kick contest. It's like shit.
Because that roster was so talented, like you couldn't, you know, you weren't going to lose.
That was a deep roster. Yeah,
you weren't going to like lose.
Good wrestlers there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, once again, that's
right now you got Seth Rollins, who's the bootleg version of Al Perez. Okay.
Oh my God! Do not compare him to Al Perez.
So that is just like an injustice to Al Perez.
That's why I say he's the bootleg version. That's why I say he's the bootleg version.
How Becky Lynch let him get near her?
Oh my!
Hey, okay,
she's not Becky Two Belts. She's gonna be Becky Two Babies. He probably impregnated with mutants, twin mutants.
No.
We're getting off the rails here, people.
Let's have some perspective here. How the people, you know, in life, you know, in love, people and chemistry, it just, you know, things happen. So
there's somebody for everyone. I get it.
His pro wrestling, whatever, like against him personally. I mean.
But what happened to Seth Rollins? He let himself go too. He used to be a tremendous shape. Now he's like a dad bod, you know. I'm like, yo, what's up with Seth?
He's preparing to be a dad. He's getting his dad.
Well, hey, he still looks really good. Have you seen Austin Aries?
No,
Austin Aries. What is going on with Austin Aries?
Somebody tell me what happened because I
is he out of shape or something?
He looks like a turnip. What? He looks like a turnip. He looks like he's aged like 20 years since he dropped the Impact title to Johnny Mundo.
Oh wow!
Really?
He looks like refried shit.
Wow.
And didn't he like do something on Twitter where he was?
He went on his Insta and telling everybody that, you know, that it's more important how you eat than covering
the
your face
mask. Yeah.
Is it another idiot?
Yep.
Oh yeah, low key also got the stuff.
Oh, that's right. Low key. Yeah, that's really surprising. I mean, I'm not saying I just
idiot.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, he's kind of a high key idiot.
Yeah,
nothing. But if I'm these wrestlers, right? In this time, I'm thinking I'm going to make money. I'm going to have masks, a whole bunch of my likeness on it. I'm going to sell them online. I'm going to sell them here at this retailer, that retailer. I mean, you know, you got to take advantage of the situation, you know? I mean, I'll walk around with a big no mask on my face right now, chilling, you know, or a K mask or something like that. I mean, you know.
Ric Flair's doing them too.
Yeah, and then, you know, like, you know, don't wear a mask. You're a fucking idiot, you know? I don't know. I can't get into it.
I think for a lot of wrestlers and celebrities and niche celebrities, they should maybe sometimes, you know, sort of look at the room and just be like, whatever their personal beliefs or whatever is, be like, you know, well, what's best for, you know, my business. Like, like, sometimes that's not saying anything. Maybe just don't say anything.
I mean, I'm gonna have a mask.
If Austin Aries ever read a fucking room and did what's best for his business, that time has been long gone. He's about as welcome as a fucking dog in a fucking cat show.
Yeah, he rubs every locker room the wrong way, man.
Fucking Zelina Vega, you know, she put his fucking promise ring in paper shredder. Fucking grown ass.
That was contentious, to say the least. Oh my, yeah.
I mean, what was the promise? I will not eat meat. Oh, good. Fuck off.
With the three.
Yeah. Hey, Zeus, I think you should make a face mask.
Oh.
A face mask?
I think you start wearing, because people got to wear masks, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think you should start designing some masks. You can do the lightning bolt or do some lucha characters.
That symbol that you use right now.
Yeah, that's
on here.
No,
Use that.
Hold on. I won't mind to say super famous though. Okay.
With the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
The lightning bolt.
Super famous. I'm walking to my surgery on Wednesday, but wasn't saying super famous because I'm hot.
I don't know if but
that'd be kind of hard, right? So, who are you? Who am I? I'm Zeus. Who are you? I'm super famous, bitch.
Did y'all see the Hayabusa one that Casey had?
No. Yes. That's hot. It's hot.
Yeah, he has a Hayabusa one.
Yeah,
nice.
It looks just like Hayabusa.
That's hot.
The Pentagon one, that one, it looks like the whole head, the whole face mask is pretty cool too. There's a couple of them for Penta.
I think it only makes sense to do something like that with people right now, right?
And New Japan had a whole I think New Japan had 4 of them, but you had to pre-order them, and now they're really nice too.
That's one thing I swear about New Japan. They go to great lengths to make shit that you can't get.
No, it's really yeah. Because the only thing
with this great New Japan tracksuit. Oh well, you can't get it unless you're a fucking wholesaler in the Tokyo Prefecture. Oh yeah, but here it is. This is it. It doesn't look great. It's in your size, but you can't get it. There's no way you can get it, but we want to let you know it's out there.
It's out there. Yeah, exactly.
Did y'all see Sanrio and all these wrestling companies in Japan got together to put out a T-shirt, and it was save our pro wrestling or something? And one of my first thoughts seeing all the publicity about it was none of us can get it here.
Hello. There's even problems downloading the card game. Right, because you can't even get the card game over here, can we? Because I heard there were issues with the download over here.
And I think the site itself has trouble with some iPads or something. But, yeah.
I mean, it's just that they're people can be proud of making shit difficult to get.
I still want an IWGP belt. I mean, I still want one.
Hey, hit up Byron Turk. I think he's trying to sell his. So.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's got a really great replica too.
How am I to say Okada?
I'm sure he's probably fine.
Hey,
I'll mail you some of his fake cash, James.
Yeah. While we're talking about Japan. Stardom announced a bunch of dates for July. They're doing 2 shows in Shinkaba, and then on July 11th and July 12th. July 17th, they're in Kurikan Hall. July 23rd, they're in Osaka. July 24th, they're in Nagoya, and then July 26th, they're back in Kurikan Hall.
Oh,
look at them. Nice.
If the virus never happened, which, so much for that, but they would have been here in California about August.
Yeah. That would have been their time to come around, and plus we would have had the MSG show, and
and from New York they would come here.
I don't think they're going to do another MSG show for a long time.
They went to Florida early this year too, and somebody decided not to go.
Well, James was going to go to that awesome Ring of Honor New Japan show.
Oh yeah,
That was a great card. I'm so even now I just like that was a great
That's why I didn't go to the New Japan show in Tampa, is because I figured I'd go to the other one because I had some issues with the travel wise too, because I had to be somewhere the next day.
Yeah.
And fucking kid, and and then the whole thing got canceled. The whole thing got canceled because of COVID, and I was so pissed that I didn't go to that show in Tampa, man. I was like, argh. I was not happy.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a Ring of Honor, New Japan Ring of Honor Super Show, and that never happened because of COVID.
That would have been that was a great card. I was like, that was a definite buy. Like,
Zeus, I finally got my refund 2 months later.
Nice, about time.
About time, right?
I look back and when I tell people I went to 5 wrestling shows this year, they're like what?
Yeah, all in the same week. All in the same week.
They were. Yeah,
but that's you, Zeus. Nobody expects anything less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the seeds get parted for Zeus at wrestling shows,
Exactly. They make the shows for Zeus. They're like,
he gets bumped up to the first row, no problem. Backstage passes, free concessions, a hot dog on the house, no problem.
Free selfie with Tanahashi.
Free selfie with Tanahashi. He did. This guy goes to WrestleCade and come back with 9 million signatures for me. I'm still. I am looking at it as we speak. It's hanging nicely framed on my wall right now, and I'm still in awe of that. That's like tremendous.
Let's be honest here. Zeus did not get a free selfie with Tanahashi. He had a free selfie with his friend Tanahashi.
Yeah, thank you, Pedro. They probably went for sushi afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
They went to Lucha Ice Cream.
Yeah, they went to Lucha Ice Cream. Churros.
Oh my god!
Angie, have you seen that Lucha Libre ice cream and churros that Zeus goes to?
Yes.
Oh, that place looks so good.
Yeah, they probably got a picture of Zeus on their wall of fame.
Well, I'm in the promo videos.
Yeah, he's in the promo.
Oh my god!
Well, I'm the only fucking guy that showed up with a Lucha Libre mask on for the grand opening. 1,000 people show up to the grand opening. I'm the only guy.
I think there's one in San Diego. I'm not 100%, but I think there's one.
That's cool.
Yeah, but so I was the only guy. I actually talked to a guy yesterday I hadn't seen in a while. That I'd been telling him about the Lucha Libre ice cream place, and God, I bet I hadn't seen him since Christmas. And he said that he took his little kid, and they bought a mask for him. I think he said it was Hurricane Ramirez mask for his son, and he wore it there, and they gave his son free ice cream.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so
I want to go there wearing a giant machine mask.
A giant
okay.
what?
They wouldn't know.
Oh,
They wouldn't know if you wore a Jushin Liger mask. They wouldn't know that from a Rey Mysterio mask. They don't.
Are you
know.
serious? How sad,
Dude!
How do you not know that?
The only guy it's not a prerequisite to work there. People are just going.
They don't have a wrestling exam they have to pass to work there.
They should. I mean, how are you gonna call this lucha and then you don't know dick about wrestling?
They should at least have like a small like key thing for the employees to.
Have that shit in the back stockroom on the wall. Know this,
Or have it like just under the counter, like where they can look down and be like,
"Oh, this is Liger. This is Mil Mascaras. This is Rey Mysterio. This is Mystico, etc., etc."
This is El Santo. This is
this is El Santo. This is
Well, I mean, I went in there last year. The day after Triple Mania. and I asked the one guy, I was like, "Come on, you got to tell me you watched the main event." Oh man, like he's like, I'm in here, work here 40 hours a week and blah blah blah. I'm like, you're not a luchador, I'm like, you're selling ice cream, all right? And
so they don't have it on the TVs, like they don't.
Angie, I was just thinking the same thing. I was literally just thinking the same thing.
They don't, and I think there would probably be an issue with rebroadcasting it like that.
Oh,
because they did get in trouble. They had that one wall that had CMLL and AAA logos on it.
Oh,
and they had to redo that. Yeah, they had to redo that wall.
Because there is a shop. There's in Alhambra. There's a Grill'em burger shop, and they have like Rikishi's been there, and they have wrestling going on the TV screens like 24, like whenever they're open.
Oh wow,
that's nice.
What was that one lady? She was in the WWE, then she was in TNA. Victoria, I think that was her.
Yeah.
Lisa Marie Verone.
Yeah, her husband had a restaurant that just played wrestling all the time for a while. I don't know if they're still married or not. They may not be married anymore, but that was the thing for me. Anyways.
Yeah, they have metal music will be playing, and then there's wrestling on the screens.
Ooh, metal music?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It actually sounded like the Ultimate Warrior's theme for a second. There you go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hold on. Let me get out of breath just listening to that. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm
run to the ring.
Run to the ring and out of gas.
That's it. I'm blown up. I'm good.
Spit.
I'm done.
Yep.
I'm done. That's it.
You're gonna get you trying to press slam this guy.
Yeah. That's why, you know what? One of the most overhyped moments I've ever seen is the whole shit with Luca and Yokozuna on the deck of the Intrepid. Oh my God, Lex Luger with an incredible feat of strength body slam Yokozuna. He barely got him up. He didn't even get him up. He got him up like belt high, and then he dropped him. I was like, where's his incredible feat of strength at? He got him up belt high and he dropped him. Please. I don't want to hear it.
That kills
I don't
me.
want to hear
It also kills me when they're doing the air drop kick, and then they don't quite connect, so the guy has to like really throw himself through the ropes himself. Yeah.
And that's that separates some like really good fundamentals and professionals from guys who are not so much.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think now with no audience that I notice more technical flaws. It might just be me, but it's just because the camera's always on them now that you notice the little missteps.
I think I notice a lot when people go outside the ring. If they're being thrown into like the guard railing, you notice more the other person, like what they do to take that impact. There's a people everywhere behind them, the backdrop.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't pay as many. I didn't pay as much attention, but now like I noticed them, stopping themselves or whatever, like preparing for the impact against the guard railing and stuff like that.
Yeah, you notice the little technical things now.
We're all learning magic tricks.
I've seen a lot more sloppiness. I notice a lot of these matches now getting sloppy. Now, it's interesting is because it's being taped right now. Everything is taped now. So you would think that if something's that bad, you stop it and then you redo it. But one of the things I noticed too in a match, I can't pinpoint who the two were. I know it was Sasha Banks and somebody, and it was reset. But you never redo the spot if you miss it. You just keep going with the match. So they had missed the spot, and they stopped what they were doing, and then they tried to do it again. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I've seen people do that a lot for a long time, though. Like,
yeah, but if your shit is taped, you could stop it. You could edit it. You could have them redo the thing so it'd be fluid.
Right, of course, but
you know, don't stop and redo the spot. You keep the match going. And I saw that. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, hello. I never got that. I don't know.
Well, you know that you remember that Son of Havoc, El Tejano match from Lucha Underground from Ultima Lucha.
Okay.
You remember that? And like it's like at one point there was that, like that bookcase, thing of beer bottles outside the ring, and then
Oh, the beer bottles.
Yeah.
It was like smashed to pieces, and we didn't see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's the only problem with editing things, But
I was never a fan of redoing a spot. If you miss it, you miss it. Just keep going with the match.
Well, I mean, you can bring it back around, but bring it back around organically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it happens, it happens.
Right. But don't stop it. Right.
I heard that a lot from other guys. Like, I think Arn Anderson had said something like that once about DDP. When DDP was coming up, and he, he was like, he had everything, meticulously planned out in every match, down to the second. And, like he would be mad if somebody improvised or whatever. It's like, well, shit, that's what,
It happens. It happens.
Right. But I mean, and that's the brilliance of being a really good pro.
Yeah.
Right.
You go with the flow.
Yeah.
Able to improvise
Like Barry
on the fly.
Windham.
Yeah, Angie, bring it back around.
And I want
Nice.
to make one little final trivia about Barry Windham that's really not about him, but Bray Wyatt's first name is Windham.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes,
So there you go.
His name is Wyndham Rotunda.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's his mama's maiden name.
That's his mama's. Yep.
And his not so over brother.
I don't know why they don't do anything with Bo, like just putting him in the Fiend gear just to have Bray Wyatt and the Fiend appear at the same time.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Because
that's a good idea.
They could do a lot of stuff, messing with your head like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody even interested in the Swamp Thing match that they're going to do?
Wait a second. What?
They're having another cinematic special, Pedro. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman in a swamp match.
Oh, a swamp match or a Swamp Thing match?
I don't know.
It's
Some
obviously
swamp.
a swamp match because Swamp Thing is owned by DC.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a swamp, some kind of not Swamp Thing the character, but a swamp thing. Some kind of swamp match. They're gonna have it in a swamp or some bullshit like that.
They're gonna end up giving the alligators COVID. It's gonna be.
Oh my God. Then that's it. It's all done.
Yeah, supposedly going to drive down to the Everglades and film it in there, down there, somewhere. I don't know, some shit. Who knows? I don't know, something ridiculous. I'm like, okay, you know what? Enough's enough. I have no interest in this whole Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman storyline.
Braun's been pretty fucking boring this.
He has. I think they missed the boat on Braun Strowman. He was hot. He was white hot at one point. You should have put the strap on him then. Now it's like nobody cares.
And unfortunately, that's not a great argument, but it's what I think that people just. I think they were mad because they got their hopes up back then because there was a good build up, and you can't really hold that against Braun.
No, that's more Vince, yeah.
Yeah, once again, I mean, because it's just like Vader. They built him up again. They built him up in WWF, and then Vince felt like that.
He pulled the rug from him.
Right, but it wasn't. Between him and Shawn, it's like I don't think so. But then they do some stupid ass shit like put it on fucking Diesel.
The hosting Kuwait didn't help either.
I think that helped a lot.
Really?
Oh yeah, when he roughed up Osman. Yeah. Which is an interesting thing because Vader didn't get cast out of the company like Schultz did. Yeah,
true.
And Vader got detained. He was detained by authorities in Kuwait. I'm sure they were going, God, we really want to fuck with this guy. He's like,
I was thinking the same thing. Like, why me? How come it can't be my day off? I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't. They didn't have nice sticks in the world. No thanks. I'm good. You're crazy. I ain't entertaining this guy. I ain't touching this guy. I'm good. Matter of fact, I would have him sign my nightstick. Vader. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a great show today.
Yeah.
It was fun. Thank you guys so much. It was fun.
Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy, just let's all be nicer to each other a little bit. It
doesn't cost anything to send someone a smile.
You're damn right, James. For an asshole New Yorker, you really get it.
Bang! There it is.
Thank you so much for getting up early to do the show with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I had fun. Happy birthday, Barry. I love you forever.
Oh, Lord. Was it Team Beat now? Thanks for getting up early, Angie, from the left side. We appreciate it.
Thank you to YYH, Rocky, and Zero for being in the chat.
Thanks to YAAH. Thanks, Rocky. And Zero, I expect your mom to be in my one-man barbecue later on today for 4th of July celebrations, okay?
Oh my God.
I'm on the plan of sparkle on her ass, all right?
What?
There we go.
Okay.
Oh.
Everyone be careful. We'll see y'all when we may not be back next weekend, but we'll be back sometime. So everyone take care.
Happy 4th, everyone. Happy 4th. Happy 4th. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a safe weekend, please.
Adios.